welcome back to Pediatric Therapy Essentials. My name is Dr. Heather Sossaman and I'm a pediatric physical therapist. Well, in the last two videos, we've been talking about executive function and conditions like ADHD, which can really challenge a child's abilities in the area of executive function. Now, for those of you that haven't been here, I will link the videos up above, but executive function are those higher order cognitive skills that allow us to control our behavior and to achieve our goals. So as I said in last week's episode, I do have a son with ADHD. So in our house, we are very aware of how that condition can impact executive function, and we have learned over the years some simple tips and tricks that have really helped him and his brothers with their organization, planning, and important executive function skills. So I thought I'd share a few of those with you guys today. So the first thing on my list is the thing that I've learned most recently, and that is to minimize the amount of stuff in my house. I'm the kind of person that really likes having a lot of stuff around. I like tchotchkes, decorations, pictures on the wall, and those are wonderful. But I started watching a YouTube video by the Minimal Mom and proceeded to watch all of her videos. And the thing that she said to me that really hit home was that every single thing in your house is something that you have to take care of. You have to clean it, you have to heat it, you have to cool it, you have to maintain it. So it takes time, energy, and money. And that just gave me a totally different perspective on everything around me. When I look at stuff now, I think, do I really need you? Because do I want to take care of you? I'm not sure. And if I don't, it leaves the house. So that's wonderful for me, but we're talking about kids today, right? So the thing I've learned about this less is more thing in our home is that the less stuff that's sitting around, the less stuff we have to maintain and take care of, makes learning all of these executive function skills a little bit easier. So less visual clutter means less clutter in our minds. Less physical clutter means it's easier to find things, to put them away, to stay organized and stay on top of our stuff. So minimizing the amount of stuff that you have to take care of can really help with those executive function skills. Number two is a family calendar. So I gave up a few years ago trying to figure out a way that everybody in the family could stay organized in the same format, right? I thought we could either all use paper or all use our phones, and that just doesn't work because we're all different. So I decided that some sort of mix between paper and electronic devices and systems was what worked best for our family. And so we do have a family calendar, and ours is on the fridge. And so I require that everyone in the house write their activities on that calendar. And if they don't write them on there, then mom doesn't know about them and mom's not gonna pay for them or take you to them. So this has taught them how to plan and organize and keep up with their activities and help them be aware of what else is going on in our house. Number three is the alarm function on your cell phone. Now, I don't know about you, but I can ignore whatever reminders I set on my cell phone without even thinking twice about it, right? I have this whole list of things that it's gonna remind me to do, and I'm like, delete, delete, delete as it comes up on my phone. I don't listen to them, but an alarm is annoying and it forces me to pay attention. So if you look at my phone, I have dozens of alarms in there. I have alarms for standing appointments that I have. I have alarms to make sure to check that my kids' homework is done. I have alarms for when I get up, obviously. Alarms to make sure the kids are up if I'm at work. So the alarm function is really great for adults, but it's also great for children. So my son with ADHD is learning to take his medication on his own, because in a few years he's gonna be in college and he's gonna have to manage that on his own. So he has alarms in his phone that help him remember when he needs to take his medication. There's also alarms in there for them to remember to feed the dogs, for them to remember to take out their trash cans. It's just a little reminder that supports them as we're trying to learn these skills. So number four on my list is the dry erase board. And another simple, pretty inexpensive item, but it's really versatile and very effective in helping with executive function skills. First and foremost, it helps with working memory. So having a dry erase board handy is an easy way to jot down information that you might otherwise forget. We have dry erase boards in our kitchen. I have them on the kids' bedroom doors, and they have little tiny portable ones that they keep at their desk. Dry erase boards can also help with organization, planning, and time management skills. So if I put things on our kitchen dry erase board of lists that I need the kids to get done during the day, the lists are there. I don't need to remind them or chase them down to help them remember. They know where they need to look, and they have to plan and manage their time during the day to get those things done. They're also accountable to everyone else in the house because everyone sees the board at the same time. So, dry erase boards are a good thing in my book. So last on my list is Google Keep, and this is a great app from Google that's part of their suite of applications that is essentially a set of virtual post-it notes. So when you open the app, you can start a new note, and what I love about it most is that you can enter the information into the note whichever way works best for you. So if you're a picture person, you can take a picture and add it. If you want to type, you can do that. If you want to write with your finger on the screen, you can do that. Or even if you want to voice and dictate, you can do that as well. So it really fits any kind of organizational type that you are and allows you lots of flexibility. Okay, so I want to take you into the app and show you some simple ways that we use it. I think it'll make a little more sense that way, and give you a few tips and tricks. So let's do that real quick. All right, guys, so when you open up Google Keep on your computer, this is what you're going to see. And if you're curious how to get there, if you log into your Google account, all you have to do is click over here and scroll down to the Google Keep app. Once you're in the app, you'll see on this side of the screen you have a couple of choices. So you have a section where you create notes, and that's where we are right now. The next option is reminders. So you do have the option to add reminders to your notes, and if you do choose to put a reminder on the note, it will appear in this section, but as you can see, I don't have any. Then you can also add some labels or folders, tabs, whatever you want to call it, over here on the left to divide your notes by category. And as you can see, I have routines and schoolwork here, and if you have a lot of notes in here, this might just be an easier way to keep on top of them or find the one you're looking for. Okay, so we're going to go back to notes, and today I want to create a new note, but first I have to decide what kind of note I want. So if I just want to jot down some text, then I can use the default format here and just begin typing anything I need, and it will appear in a note. If I want to be a little more specific, I can use the checkbox here to create a new list, and that is what you see right here. Or I can do a drawing. If I want to use my finger or a drawing tool to quickly jot something down, I can do that. Or I can add a new note with an image on the camera on my phone or my computer. Now, once you create either a text-based note or a checklist, you can also add a drawing or image to those notes as well. So today I think I'm going to add a new checklist. And I'm going to call this one, with my title, I'm going to call it Mom's Chores. And then I'm just going to simply start typing the things I need to do. So maybe I need to clean my bathroom today. I need to do the laundry, and I need to mop. Okay, so now I have my items on my list, and then I need to come down here and make it a little bit more specific. So first, we can add a reminder, which is what we talked about in this tab here. So you can choose one of their reminders right here, or you can be more specific and add a certain date and time in this section here. And if this is a list of things that you do maybe on a daily or weekly basis, you can choose to have it repeat. Okay, so I'm not going to add a reminder, but I do want to add a collaborator. And this is how I see what my kids have done on the notes that we share. So if I create a list for them, like this one, Ian's responsibilities, he would be a collaborator with me on that note, and I would simply add his email here. And if I did add him as a collaborator on my note, at the bottom of the note, I would see his little Google icon down there, and that's how I know we're collaborating. Next, I might decide that I want the note to be a certain color. So if I want to categorize notes by color, or by, every person in the family has a different color, or every subject in school has a different color, I could do that here. So I'm going to make this one orange. Next, as I was saying to you before, you can add an image to this note, or right here, you can add a drawing. Okay, so my note's done, and I've closed it, and now it popped down to the bottom of my screen. Now, why did it go there and not to the top? Because everything down here I haven't pinned, and that's this little button right here. So if I click pin, it's going to pop it to the top of the screen. And right now that doesn't seem like a really big deal because I don't have that many notes on the screen. But if I had a whole bunch of notes, the pin feature allows me to pull notes that are really important up to the top of my screen. So if I do have a checklist and I want to work on that checklist today, I would open it and click that I'm Ian here, and I've done all the chores Mom wants me to do. Great. It's the end of the day, I'm all done, everything's taken care of. But I want to use this note again tomorrow, and I don't want to have to retype it. So I can simply go down here
click this and say uncheck all items, and now my responsibility list is ready to go for tomorrow. One of the best ways to use this app and all these little notes, I think, is to keep on top of homework. And this is where it gets into that realm of executive function. So yes, it helps us with planning and keeping on top of responsibilities and chores and things like that, but homework and keeping on top of what's due when can really get overwhelming. And I think having kids keep up with a planner can sometimes be frustrating for both the child and the parent because it gets lost in the backpack, or it gets wet, or we forget to write in it because we don't ever take it out of our bag. And this is where the cell phone and the app on the phone becomes very handy, because we all know that kids are going to keep up with those phones. You know, we all are very motivated to know where our phone is at all times. So finding a way to keep on top of homework using your cell phone is probably really great for kids. So as you can see right here, I have created a note that says math first period. Now there's nothing in the note yet because I haven't gone to math class. But when I do go to math class, all I have to do is open my note and I can quickly type using my text feature. I can use my finger to scribble it down as a drawing, or I can take a picture maybe of the dry erase board of all the homework that's listed for today. Once I have that information, I simply close the note, and then when I get home tonight, I know exactly what I need to do. And you can create these notes for all the different periods or activities that your child is doing, and that's a great way for them to keep up with it. At night, when they're done with their homework, they simply erase the image or the text, and they're ready to go again for tomorrow. If your child wants to be more specific, they can use all these great options at the bottom. They can remind themselves to study for that test. They can collaborate with friends and on their group projects, and they can use these detailed options at the bottom. But if they don't, just keeping a picture in a note with each class is a great start for learning how to keep on top of your homework.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed those quick tips for executive function. I hope there was something in there that was helpful for you. If you have any other ideas, absolutely leave them in the comments down below so that we can share them with everybody else. And if you enjoyed today's video, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone else. And if you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so and turning on those notifications so you know when my new videos are out, which is every Saturday. And if you'd like any more information on the topic that we talked about today, please be sure to pop over to my website, pediatrictherapyessentials.com, and check out the full blog post that goes along with today's video. Well, I hope each and every one of you has a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you next Saturday. Bye!